fried taters.
Taters.
Speaking of that,
We never drank the
food.
Sorry.
There wasn't much to research.
I don't think there was.
Really not. We're going to fill this up.
Oh, yeah, we'll fill it up. We could have went 2 hours plus the other night. And 3 hours into the other night, too. Pull up the show.
Ahmed.
Good Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen, as Dependable Waste Services presents On the Spot with David Rodgers, the live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject that includes commenting, talking, or debating with each other. You control and run this show. We are just the rudder that steers this big old ship in this big old vessel. This is a show that is wide open with no limits as we bring it to you first. We discuss breaking news, politics, and business, sports, and other pertinent stories that affect our everyday lives. We serve the regional area to include Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Palatka, Gainesville, Waldo, Lulu, where I've seen David's stepsister on the way home this afternoon, Melrose, Brooker, Hampton, Middleburg, Jacksonville, and other surrounding areas. That's right. If there is a story to be reported or dissected, On the Spot is the first to handle it. We also discuss happenings in Florida as well as Georgia and other southeastern states. But now let me introduce the show team, the guys who bring the move to the groove. First, behind the controls with the video and audio is our senior producer, Mr. Command in Control, the big dog, our executive producer, Super Dave Daredevil Holland. Say hello.
Thank you very much for that introduction, gentlemen.
There you go. Behind the scenes is our director, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater. Say hello, Mike.
Good evening, folks.
Behind the scenes providing us with up-to-date information, our production assistant, John, better than Snopes Probst, and our man with all things weather, Austin Storm Chaser Stevens. And now my co-host, to my left, the historian and governmental whiz on all things national and international and worldwide and even state and wherever else. It's Byron, the one who helps keep our freedom and rights Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels.
Really?
Yeah.
They're all infidels?
Every single one.
Dadgummit. And to my right with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the American Scout, and your lookout on terrorism and anything else that does not belong or looks out of place, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes, and
The Show Pony.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We are coming to you live from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. And we want to thank our host. We just seen him, Sheriff Gordon Smith, and his great emergency management staff for their hospitality each and every week.
Oh, yes.
Just a reminder about the new and improved ADO. What's the ADO?
Audience-driven overtime.
Well, how about that? So you, the viewers, has your say anytime a story hits near and dear to the hearts of our viewers, or you have questions or comments, we jump into ADO. This allows you, the viewers, to have complete control of our show while giving everyone equal opportunity to have their voices heard. And now, before we dive into the show, it's time to recognize our sponsors who have changed hours and set up due to the current local state of emergency, but continue to serve our fine public. And starting with our very own Dave Holland and the rest of the fantastic team at Harry Business, home of the $8 haircut, located in the Deerfoot Village, open 7 days a week with modified hours. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. 10 to 3, Wednesday through Saturday, and 12 to 4 on Sunday. They are currently closed on Monday and Tuesdays.
Yep. Miracle Automotive and Towing in Stark and McClenny. Don't pray for a miracle, call Miracle at 904-368-1114. 24/7, 365 days a year for all of your towing and automotive needs.
All right. Williams Jewelry of Stark, Vicki Williams. Open with modified afternoon hours by appointment. Be sure to call ahead for amazing deals and beautiful items.
On the Spot Lawn Maintenance, let the red, white, and blue take care of your green. We have your gutters and pressure washing covered and all sorts of yard maintenance needs. Find us on Facebook or call us at 904-966-1633. Also taking comments on the Spot.
Yes,
Mr.
we are.
David Rodgers.
Appreciate that. Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair in McRae. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. Call 904-703-5136 to schedule an appointment.
Schuster and Sabin Law Firm out of Jacksonville, Florida. If you've been injured in an accident, visit www.piplaw.com.
All right. Mike Walls and Lazy Q Productions. If you need a jingle for your jangle or a catchphrase for your business, contact Mike Walls, stadium announcer at the Bradford Tornado football games with Lazy Q Productions.
Can always use a jingle for your jangle.
That's right.
Mrs. Clean Housekeeping Services, commercials and residential cleaning. Call Karen today for your free estimate at 352-575-5835.
I'll tell you a little story. Michael Heater hired this lady to come clean the house, and Michael was trying to tell her what to do. Not really tell her what to do, but just sort of show her. She told Michael to get out, I'll clean the house. Michael comes back 2 hours later. The place is spotless.
That's great.
Yeah, he said, it was. She did a good job. And last, but certainly not least, North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry with Doctors Johnson and Baxter. They've got all your dental needs covered. Located conveniently on Dunn Avenue in Jacksonville, Florida, home of Leonard Skinner. Call Dan Baxter at 904-751-4958. And Mitchell, mention OTS, and you'll get 10% off the grill that you want next week.
That's right. Get them grills fixed.
There you go. If you would like to become one of our sponsors, email the team at onthespot32091@gmail.com. You can call 904-966-1633, and we're going to have some other numbers there as well where you can call if you want to be a sponsor of the show. And now it's time to get started with our prayer, pledge, and patriotic quote of the week. Here is your quick and dirty, but not yet, because we got to start the prayer, the pledge, and a quote. I don't know from who tonight. You kept that secret from me.
Yeah, I did.
All right. So let's bow our heads. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let's once thank again for a wonderful and blessed and glorious day you've given us today, dear Lord. Thank you for everything that you do for us, dear Lord. Thank you for just letting us be here, dear Lord, to bring this show to our viewers. And let our viewers take what we say, dear Lord, and just put it in their minds and let them decipher what we bring to them, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, the freest and the most powerful country in the world today, dear Lord. Thank you for our armed forces, dear Lord, as they go out each and every day to protect our rights, protect our freedoms from thy enemy. And thank you, dear Lord. Just keep a hedge of protection over them, dear Lord, and bring them back safely to their families. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, please touch these individuals, their hearts and their minds, dear Lord, and just bring them at comfort and at ease. Anybody that's lost a loved one, dear Lord, either to this virus that we're facing today or for any other reason, please touch them and their families, dear Lord, as they go through this trying time, dear Lord. And you'll be the ultimate comforter and the ultimate healer. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, thank you for everything that you do for us, dear Lord. Keep a hedge of protection as we go throughout the rest of the work week. Keep blessing our country, dear Lord, and help us, dear Lord, as we look to you for guidance and support in fighting this pandemic, this coronavirus, dear Lord. Please touch and heal all that are sick, and the ones that aren't sick, dear Lord, put a hedge of protection on their body so they don't get this virus either, dear Lord. We ask for these things in your true Son's name, the one and only, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Let us stand for the pledge. And I'm going to ask our director, Mr. Michael Heater, since he hasn't been with us for a day or so, if he'll lead us in the pledge.
Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. All right. Little quote from one of our founding fathers, and not the normal one that I normally use tonight.
Right.
Quote is, "Power is intoxicating, and men legally vested with it too often discover a disposition to make an ill use of it, and an unwillingness to part with it."
I think I know who said that.
Who?
I'm going to take a guess. I'm just reaching out, all right? It's one of the Adams that said that. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if it was John Quincy. Samuel Adams.
That would be correct.
Is it really?
That would be correct.
No
That
warning.
means
Yes, it's evident.
that's
Imminent.
correct. So you actually, when they had the
coming.
radar a
It's
little
coming.
closer, you can actually see that there was starting to get that little hook
Yep.
look to it, and that's a sign that there has rotation to it.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on with the quick and dirty. Here's your quick and dirty for this Tuesday night, sponsored by Austin's Weather Service. Contact Austin's Weather Service on Facebook for your up-to-date forecast.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking news tonight as Union and Bradford County deputies spent part of today tracking a murder suspect out of Gainesville, Florida. The search is ongoing. Wow. Let's bring this guy to justice. Let's bring his tail to justice. You know who says that? I took that from somebody, and I bet Michael Heater knows who I took it from.
I know who.
I took that from John Walsh.
That's right.
That's exactly right. I love John Walsh. Let's bring this guy to justice. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office responded to a robbery on Sunday where a man and woman reached over the counter and stole a sum of money. You know what would happen in that case over in Saudi Arabia? You have no hands when you're caught. How about that? How about this one then, Byron?
The suspects fled the scene in a stolen Dodge Ram pickup truck. Eventually, deputies were able to catch up to the suspect.
Amen.
And they didn't shoot him for some reason.
Yeah. Keep going.
Deputies with Alachua County and Columbia County eventually arrested both suspects.
Go ahead.
Bradford firefighters were able to save a home on Sunday when a nearby shed and pickup truck caught fire.
All right. Just before 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon, deputies and firefighters responded to a report of a vehicle fire in the 9100 block of Southeast 25th Avenue off County Road 18 between Hampton and Theresa. First arriving deputies reported a truck and a lawnmower under a detached parking shed engulfed in flames. Engine 20 arrived carrying the Dragon Slayer, our very own Michael Heater right here. Moments later, and immediately attacked the fire and protecting the nearby mobile home. The siding had already started to melt, and the porch was starting to burn when the first firefighter arrived. Do you know who that was?
Michael Heater.
Michael Heater. Once the home was safe, firefighters finished extinguishing the fire. There were no injuries, and while the home suffered cosmetic damage, the property was safe. I do have a question for Michael Heater. Is my lawnmower okay? No, my lawnmower that was in this fire. Yeah, he's like,
It's lovely.
it's lovely. Okay, it's peachy keen.
The insurance replacement is beautiful.
Oh boy, here we go.
He breathing
how
on
about-
stuff again.
Yes, he is.
How about this? Baker County pastor has been booked into the Baker County Detention Center after an investigation revealed that he had groped a 16-year-old female in his home. The victim was a family friend of the pastor and accused the pastor of touching her thigh inappropriately and at
The title is There's Always Pedophiles Out There. There's your sexual offenders, sexual predators that are still out there on the prowl looking. Sure. Please, at this time where we've got a major crisis going on, not just in the United States, but all over the world, please watch yourself. Please watch your family, your friends. You just don't never know when something like this is going to happen.
You're not going to take away evil out of men's hearts.
No, you're not.
Going to.
And you know, here we are. We're a pastor. You know, somebody that we're supposed to look up to, and we all look up to, runs the church, and here we are being accused of this. Now, again, you're innocent until proven guilty. Obviously, they must have some information to put him on a $25,000 bond. Probably looking at a nice conviction right there. Yeah. So,
the devil speaks with a forked
yes,
tongue.
it does. And we found out who Mitchell's long lost great grandfather is. Drum roll, please.
Better not be no Adam Schiff.
Michael, who is it? You don't know? I do. It's not Adam Schiff. You know who it is? You know who it is? It's actually Samuel Adams. How about that, Mitchell
I thought
Gunner?
for a second he was going to say Chuck Schumer.
Oh, whoa, no. It's actually it's actually Adam Schiff. How about that?
Don't get me started because I'll
Nah,
start
it's
saying
Samuel
that
Adams.
your aunt is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh.
You've already said that, so what's new on that front? Good grief. All right, let's get the weather right here, sponsored by Austin's Weather Service tonight. Breezy, cooler, mostly cloudy, then becoming partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly clear, he says. Chance of showers and thunderstorms early in the evening, then chance of showers and slight chance of thunderstorms in the evening. Lows 53 to 57, Byron. West winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with occasional gusts up to 35 miles an hour. Chance of rain, 50%. Wednesday, cooler, sunny, highs 68 to 74. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday night, clear, lows 48 to 53. Northwest winds 5 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny, highs 76 to 81. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear in the evening and then becoming partly cloudy. Lows 50 to 54. Northeast winds at 5 miles per hour. Friday, mostly sunny, starting to get back up on the temperatures. Highs 80 to 84. Friday night, partly cloudy, low 53 to 57. Saturday, partly cloudy, highs 80 to 85, not a bad day. Saturday night, partly cloudy, lows 56 to 60. Forecast issued just an hour ago from Austin's Weather Service right here for Pascagoula, Mississippi and surrounding regional areas. Tonight, clear, lows 47 to 50. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, highs 74 to 77. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, lows 47 to 50. You notice how their temperatures dropped just a little bit there. Northwest winds 5 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny in the morning, then becoming partly cloudy, highs 74 to 77. Southeast winds to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, lows 53 to 57. East winds to 5 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, highs 76 to 80. Friday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly cloudy, lows 57 to 60. Saturday, cloudy, a 30% chance of rain showers in the afternoon, highs 77 to 80. What a beautiful day. Saturday night, mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers, low 60 to 64. Forecast issued just 47 minutes ago for that area. And that is sponsored by Austin's Weather Service. Thank you, Austin Stevens, for that great weather report.
And speaking of the weather, just want to let everybody know, looks like that tornado warning, the actual where they project that the tornado is right at Ponte Vedra.
It's right at Ponte Vedra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to let you know, thanks to Mr. Dwight Allen, they have communications between the preacher and the girl, and he doesn't deny doing it, but blamed it on medication.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so that's a great update. Thank you, Mr. Dwight Allen. And we're going to get to some of our comments here in just a minute. I do want to say that there is a severe thunderstorm warning out here for us. We just got a little bit of rain right here. It's all through our region and through our area. So please be careful if you're going out getting groceries or doing something. Please be careful.
And we mentioned that. Want to let you know, a lot of people probably in the city of Stark right now does not have electricity as a transformer blew.
That's right.
So just wanted to go ahead and let y'all know that. And I imagine the city's crews are on their way out to assess the damage and get everything fixed.
As our very own Michael Heater just donned on his fire jacket right there.
He took off.
And he took off. He's on his way right now to probably help with something out there. So I heard the radio go off. So please be careful out there. Again, you probably won't have power for a little bit. Again, as Mitchell Gunner said, we have a transformer that just blew. We heard it. Thank goodness we are in a great location, Byron and Mitchell and Dave, where we are at the sheriff's office. We're on backup generator power. Again, to my left is Mr. Byron Bagwell, our historian and our governmental whiz on all sorts of things. The man with the plan, I like to call it. The guy that will give it to you straight. Mr. Byron Bagwell, say hello, everybody, Mr. Bagwell.
Hello, everybody.
And then to my right is the scout, the American lookout right there. Hey, on anything that doesn't belong or looks out of place, Mr. Mitchell Gunner.
Right.
And to my right over here, the good-looking guy out of all of us. That's the man right there, Mr. Dave Holland, our producer right there. Say hello, Dave.
Love you guys.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you, brother. So, again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers. Normally, I'm the voice of the Bradford Tornadoes and trivia host on Thursday nights. But guess what? No trivia right now. Can we blame who that no trivia is on?
China.
There you go. China, I'm blaming you for my lost wages. I'm going to recoup that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, again, welcome into the show. We got a lot of things to go. We're going to get to all you guys' comments. I've got an actual question, sort of almost, I don't want to call it a conspiracy there, but I want to throw something out to you guys, and I want you to think about it, but I want the audience response as well as we start talking about several different things. Of course, what's on each and everybody's mind that's tuning in, of course, is the coronavirus, COVID-19. And as our our doctor there from Texas A&M called it, SARS, right?
It is actually a strain of a different strain of the SARS virus.
That's exactly
And
right.
It makes sense because corona is
Right.
what SARS
is.
It's just a different strain.
Right, and he was explaining that. He did a great job explaining that. I did have one question, Mitchell, if we could. Kevin Howell, my co-host that does the football games, my color analyst, wanted to know if we could tell all of our viewers, especially the ones that listen locally, the restaurants that are open for takeout and the restaurants that are open, you know what I mean? Like I know Laredo's has been closed for a little bit, right, as far as that goes, but our regular fast food is still open, right?
That's right.
You want to go over a list of those, Mitchell?
McDonald's is open, Burger
Yep.
King, Taco Bell. All those places that's got drive-throughs, they're operational. If you want something from a restaurant, I mean, you got the Downtown Grill.
Yep. Miss Chrissy.
They're doing curbside and also, I think, doing some delivering.
Yep.
You got Domino's. I mean,
Domino's, yeah,
they'll
Domino's
deliver
still
to your house.
Little Caesars.
Well,
Caesars?
Hal's, you can pick up, but I think the outside dining is shut down. But I think you
Yep.
can go and you can pick up food from there.
Right.
And there's a bunch of other restaurants.
Powell's is still open. Now, you
Right.
can't sit at the benches
That's
anymore.
right.
You cannot. So I do want to somebody did ask me that.
Right.
We did that one Friday night after we got done, but that was the last night. We were the last ones. So if you want to go to Powell's, absolutely. They'll come and take your order. You can go up and order, but you cannot sit at the premises anymore to eat until this is all.
Blueberry milkshake and
You
fried
can,
mushrooms.
and you can get that beautiful steak sandwich that you like from over there
yeah,
because
they're
their
slaw dogs are good too.
yeah, their slaw dogs are good. Yes, they are. So
I just wanted to get into some things right now, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Some power outages.
Sure.
We have a wire down at 180th and 69th Avenue. We also have two utility call-outs, one at Butler Road, another one on Temple Avenue. Have a wire down in Hampton at County Road 221 and 61st Lane.
right.
And also a wire down at another area on Temple Avenue. So we've got several lines down, and utility crews are out there working on them. And also see that we have some traffic assignments going on, probably due to those traffic lights being out.
Being out,
So
yeah.
just wanted to give an update of what areas are being affected by power outages.
All right, so there you go. We just updated you with what we know here locally right here. And just please, if you're out and about, please be careful of the weather. I don't know in some of these places you're going to find power or not. Mitchell just updated you on what's happening and where some of those power outages are. Again, getting back to the food thing just really quick, all the fast food services are open. So you can go to McDonald's, you can go to Crystal's, you can go to Burger King, you can go to Taco Bell, you can go to Popeyes, you can order from there and go through the drive-thru
and pick it up.
and pick it up.
Just like about every other city.
I do believe, Byron, did you come by? Is Cedar River open as well? I think they are for takeout.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing. I wasn't paying any attention. That was about the time I had my little run-in.
Right. I do believe Sonny's is open. Sonny's is open for takeout.
Yep.
For takeout. Chrissy and Ricky Thompson at the Downtown Grill is open for takeout as well. Tony and Al's, I do believe, is
think
open.
so, too.
Is open for takeout.
I think if you go to the Downtown Merchants Facebook page, I think there they will have a list of the restaurants that are open doing curbside delivery or delivering to your house. So it might be a good spot to look and try to find those restaurants. Try to find the restaurant of your choice, whichever you like to do.
Right.
But try to do that. Try to support these businesses. It's really rough on them right now, and us being a community, we need to try to come together as a community and help one another.
Yes.
So just think about them whenever you want to eat. You might want to save your groceries in your fridge and in your pantry for a later date.
Right. And Mitchell's exactly right. You want to keep supporting our local establishments. They're trying to keep people employed as well. I know some people has lost their jobs because of this. Some people may not be able to afford to go out and eat. But if you can, please make sure you go out and you support our local eateries, our local businesses. They're still open. And please go out there and support these guys. Try to stay in town here. I know supplies are limited because of the amount of stores that we have. If you have to go to Gainesville or Middleburg or Orange Park, I can understand that as well. But try here first before you go out to anywhere else, man. We want to support our community. We love our community. This is why we do this, Byron, this show, because we love our community, and we love the people in our community. And somebody told me the other night, you live in Mayberry. Thank God I live in Mayberry. How about that? So if you're on the show, I love you.
Instead of the People's Republic of Los
or with the guy that said it to me, New York City, which is on a major lockdown right now. So thank God I do live in Mayberry.
And an insane governor.
Well, I tell you what, we're talking about the coronavirus right now.
Yep.
I just want to put some numbers out there for everybody.
Yes.
As of just a few moments ago before we started the show, here in the state of Florida, there's 6,741 total cases in the state of Florida. 6,490 of those are Florida residents. There's 857 of them that's been hospitalized, and we've had 85 deaths. And I'm going to break it down a little bit by the surrounding counties, because I know a lot of us here in Bradford County, we're working these other counties as well, and we go back and forth every day. Alachua County is up to 87 cases.
Right.
And they are the highest by far per capita in the state of Florida.
Figured that.
Baker County has 9. Clay County has 41. Columbia 3. Duval has 207. Bradford has 2, Marion County 25, and earlier today Union County got their first case.
Yep.
And to try to bring that up, that first case is a 60-year-old woman, and it is really rough on the older people with this virus. Or even if you're young and you're compromised by a health problem, it can cause you a lot of problems or cause you death.
Right.
But, you're speaking about going to other counties looking for stuff.
Right.
If you don't need to go into those other counties, especially like Alachua or Duval, that's got these high amount of cases, you're right, David. They should try to shop right here in Bradford.
Right.
and try to stay safe, because I worry about it every day because I work over in Alachua County, and I'm over there, and I'm
Of
coming
course.
home every day, and it kind of makes you worry. You know,
Sure.
when
Yeah.
you can pick this up.
What you're bringing home, because now we're hearing that this possibly could have people that don't have symptoms and are actually
Carriers.
Yes, that's right. And also, speaking on that,
That's a
not
scary
only
thought.
not only having the coronavirus will have you having a bad cough, having you run a high temperature, and wheezing and stuff with your lungs, but it can also, now they say, cause you to have real bad stomach problems, like a stomach intestinal flu. You would have those symptoms. That could be also coronavirus, and they're actually finding more and more stuff out each day. If you get it in your, you pick it up in your eye, you can get pink eye from
Which
it.
will spread.
Which will spread.
Yeah.
So if I hate to say it, but if you get pink eye, you might want to make a phone call to your doctor and
Yeah.
go ahead and
Make
get checked
sure
for it,
that
it's not-
because that can be a symptom of this coronavirus.
There is one good piece of news that I heard today. The mortality rate is not as high as we originally thought it was.
Right.
It's
Well-
gone from 1 to 0.6.
6. Right.
Well, I got something that just came out of Washington today, and this was
Fauci said
actually
that.
from President Trump. On today, Tuesday, he warned America to brace for probably the roughest 2-week period ahead, as the White House releases projections that there could be 100 to 240,000 people that could die from the coronavirus.
Right.
So it looks like we're fixing getting that peak,
That peak of it.
point, and then hopefully on the backside of it, we'll start coming down. I know those are scary numbers, but we have to keep on using distancing between each other. Speaking of us, we're close, but we always get checked before we come in here.
Absolutely.
They screen us, they
Yes.
take our temperature, and make sure that we don't have any symptoms of that
coronavirus.
So I wanted to put that out here because we had several people ask, "Well, y'all sitting so close,"
Right.
but we have always been checked since this has been happening. So so we need to continue on that same path of social distancing, washing your hands like you're supposed to. Hey, if you're going to the gas pumps, you won't look ridiculous. Go get you a box of rubber gloves if you can find them. Put them in the trunk of your car or behind your driver's seat. Put those gloves on. Go pump your gas. Pull them off. Throw them in the trash before you get back in your car.
Or if you're not going to do that, don't touch your face
Right.
Right.
after you get finished,
Go wash your hands.
and then go wash your hands.
Right.
Go wash your hands.
Circle K has hand dispensers
Yes.
Yes.
at their gas pump.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
I would much rather go inside and wash my hands than use the hand sanitizer, because it's more effective.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand. Everybody touches it
You do it. I mean,
Well-
see, here's the thing. We do this.
before they wash their hands. They got to pump it, right?
Well, yeah,
Of course, yeah.
Right. But here's the thing: we do this all the time, and we know now that the virus, if it's on something like that,
It can live for days.
it can live for days.
Yes.
But we also know that once you wash your hands, if you don't touch your face or your eyes or your nose, if you wash your hands, that's going to kill the virus, and you're not going to.
That
get
is correct.
It has to be aerosolized from somebody coughing or sneezing
Right.
in a 6-foot diameter from you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you
Can I add something to
have to
that, Byron?
Sure.
I've seen, and even our doc said it, that we watch, and I want to share that video. You do know that a sneeze, and he was talking about the six, you could actually get it up to 27 feet away from you.
Oh, imagine so.
27
Especially if the wind's
feet.
blowing.
Just think about how long 27 feet
Well, I mean-
is. And that's exactly right. So if you're within a 27-foot
Grab a tissue if you're going
That's
to sneeze.
correct. Yeah.
Grab a tissue.
Cough in your elbow,
In
cough
your
into-
elbow,
cough
yeah.
into your, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
going to completely eliminate it when you do that. but it's going to stop it from being 27 foot. It's probably going to stop it from being 6 foot too.
Right.
If everybody will take an extra step, like we were talking the dispensary at the gas pump.
Sure.
After you do your thing, wipe that little knob off. So the next person that touches it.
People aren't going to do that, Dave.
No,
I-
Yeah, but see, you think, yeah.
I mean, that's like they've told people over and over and over again not to be in large groups.
That's correct.
right. Well, speaking of which,
You go get in large groups, and then you catch this because somebody's infected and doesn't know it. And then you've got a problem.
right.
Right.
And speaking of that, they have posted on social media that they were going to have a block party on Old Already Road.
Yes, they were.
And the sheriff's department,
Shut that
Shut
down,
that
Cud.
down.
Yeah, shut that down.
come on,
Yeah.
people, you got to use common sense.
Yeah.
If
And I
this
tell you-
wasn't so easily spreadable, I would actually say go do what you want to in large groups like that.
Right.
I think we have completely let Mother Nature just not do natural selection anymore.
Right.
If you're going to be stupid, it should hurt.
Right. Yeah.
But the problem, and that sounds
Yeah,
crass.
no, it does sound but he's
But
right. It's
look,
true.
Look, people, you can't do things like that right now. You can't. If you're going to be in the open public, you have to take precautions with this. Not saying not to go out in public, but what I'm saying is you don't want to be in large gatherings of people. I went to Walmart, and I felt like, I don't know if I really should be here with this many people inside of this building. And I stayed away from people
Sure.
because I know that if I stay away from people, I'm going to have less of a chance of getting it, and you've got to go buy stuff.
Right.
But if you're talking about going to a block party, look, I understand. You want to go have a good time, and
This is not the time.
This is something that everybody likes to go be with their friends. It's not the time to get a group of 20 or 30 of your friends together
No.
and have a party somewhere.
No, it's not.
You want to sit around a fire with 2 or 3 of your friends and you're spaced out and you're outside, more power to you.
Right.
Except for the fire part because we're in a fire band.
Right.
But, you've got to use your head.
Right.
And you just got to use your head about it. I mean, I'm in places all the time where I could possibly be exposed to coronavirus.
That's correct.
I wear gloves. I wear a mask. When I get finished there, the first thing I do is basically take my mask off from the outside with my gloves over the top of my head. Take my glove, pull one of my gloves inside out, grab the other glove with the inside of the glove that I just pulled
So
inside
they're meshed
out,
inside each other.
and then pull them together out so I'm not touching the outsides of my glove.
Right.
Put them in a garbage bag that I have inside my van, and then what I do is I take hand sanitizer and I sanitize my hands and my wrists up to about right there. Every single time it's every single time I go into anybody's home now.
Well,
but you have to use your head with this, guys, because you're not just affecting yourself
Right.
with this. You're going to affect your friends, your family, your grandparents. Your grandparents is really who you need to be worried about right now, and your elderly parents. If you're older like I am, I have to worry about my parents.
Right.
Use your head. Do not do something like a block party. That's insane.
I want to call it what it is. It's dumb.
That's dumb.
It's
And-
that
and-
is
and-
just pure out dumb. If
and
you're
I tell
gonna
you
do
what,
that. And
you know,
that's
It's natural selection,
Sure.
like I said. But
Yeah.
you can't rely on that now because that person could go talk to me, you, or anybody else and not even know they have it. And
Right.
the next thing you know, I've got it, and Joe has it, and
Well, you're
Michael
walking
has
through
it,
Walmart,
Mitchell
and
has
they
it.
touch clothes. I mean,
yeah.
it could
Fruits,
be that.
vegetables.
Vegetables, everything.
You just when you that happens.
I don't
Yeah.
smell an orange.
But
orange.
what you have to do with that is you have to take the precautions after you get finished with doing that shopping. You cannot touch your face while you're doing that.
Right.
When you get finished with the shopping, sanitize your hands. When you get home, wipe the things that you bought down, or wash them.
Right.
Drink
Before
some
you-
water.
Well,
Yes,
There's-
because it'll linger into your throat,
There-
and if you don't flush that down into your stomach,
there's some things being said about that now that makes me unsure whether that helps or not. Because to begin with, it was gargle with hot salt water.
Right.
And I've heard several doctors say that you don't want to do that now because it looks like it's actually increasing the virus's trip down your passageways.
Well,
And don't do like these idiots.
No, Dad.
And
Until you hear that from Fauci and the people that are in control of the CDC, I would not put any faith in that at all.
well, now I will say this: it is
Dr.
it is
Fauci, he's
Yes.
the head doctor that's in control of all of this.
it is on the CDC website.
What about Advil?
It is. Ibuprofen and Advil is on the CD website,
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, and
really?
yes, it is. Please stay away from ibuprofen and Advil, which is all the same.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
ibuprofen
Stay
is just
away
a
from
drug
that
name.
because it feeds this virus.
Oh.
It's like wildfire. It's like when you throw gas on a fire, and it makes it just explode 20 times worse than what it is.
I think pollen and COVID-19 have a thing for me.
Yeah.
Advil is about the only thing that really, as far as pain reliever goes, really only thing that really truly helps me when I start having sinus problems.
Well, you was speaking of, large amounts of people gathering and stuff. Now, one of these cases in Alachua County actually was a Dollar General employee at the distribution center there in Alachua. So what they had to do, he tested
That's not
positive.
good.
They
No.
had to shut down a section of the warehouse,
Clean it
Right.
completely.
and they had to
sanitize-
cleanse it.
Oh.
And then get it ready to reopen on for business. So they
Right.
they have done that. So it just shows you it only takes one person to pick it up from somewhere else and go to a workplace where there's 100 people working.
And then you end up.
All it
spread it.
is a snowball effect.
Exactly.
The little snowball becomes all of a sudden the avalanche.
That's right.
And that's exactly what's going on with this thing. Angie Rogers, I do want to answer your question, but how many things are you going to touch before you washing your hands? That's a great question.
It's true.
Yeah, it's very true. You should wash your hands anytime you touch anything
if
that's
I-
being
if
touched by
I-
somebody
if
else
I-
or a possibility of being
If
touched by somebody
I
else.
don't know where that was. If that was not in my house, and I don't know that it come from my house,
Right.
and it's been there for a while, then I'm going to wash my hands,
Right.
Or at the very least, use hand sanitizer.
I want to
So,
thank.
and that's just
yeah.
like what I just did because I have got to do this because my sinuses are driving me berserk and my eyes are itching. I'm
Oh yeah,
surprised
me
they're
too. Right now.
not- I'm surprised they're not red. That's why I just did that because I don't.
I tell you, and our governor is trying to do everything he can for the state.
They are-
I mean,
they
they're
are.
doing checkpoints from Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, trying to stop people from coming in from New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, where it's really high.
Right.
He's doing his thing there to try to detour people even trying to make that trip.
The problem
in the
is
first place.
the problem is the governors from the states that have these really high incidences of it are not closing their borders.
Right.
Right.
That's the
Right.
problem with it. You don't need to close all of the borders to all the states.
Right.
Right.
But if you've got a place that's got a concentration like New York has, you should tell your population that you can't travel. Period.
I just heard something today. You speaking of these checkpoints, they got that one right up there. Is it on 75 and 10? I heard that the line is 71 miles long,
I don't doubt it.
trying to get into
Trying
this
to get-
state
Here's the thing about
because they're looking for New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. They're looking for all those that, like Byron says, that has not closed off the borders in their own states.
Look, I would that is something that I would normally never say because I don't believe the government should have power to dictate to us where we can go and where we can't go. Period. But this is a different matter.
This is a different beast. Yeah.
And the reason it's a different matter is because it's easy to catch.
Right.
If you really want to see what this really can be, take a look at the number of deaths from the Spanish flu.
Right.
1918, 1919?
Mm-hmm. 1919, yeah.
1918, 1990, something like that. Just go back and look at how many people that died from the Spanish flu. It's contagious like that, not in the same way. I don't believe it's exactly transmitted in the exact same way that was, but this can be that way for people who have health issues.
Right.
And there's a lot of people in this country that have health issues. It's not good for people that have high blood pressure. I have high blood pressure. It's controlled, but I have high blood pressure. And they're saying, because of the way the virus acts, that the I'm trying to remember what receptors those are that are in your lungs that cause that, and I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, and I forgot
Beta.
what he said.
It's a beta blocker, or not
right.
beta blocker? Is it something like that? But anyway, guys, you can't allow this to spread like wildfire. That's part of the problem. Right. Now, if we start getting back to normal and these cases start going down and our government still keeps on doing that, then we're going to have an issue.
Yeah, and
We're
I
gonna
fully
have
agree with that.
A very bad issue.
Yeah.
And that issue would already be set.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. No. That was a great point, and I know sometimes we get rolling on what we want to say, and sometimes, man, the information just keeps flowing because it flows.
It flows. To me, it doesn't make any sense as a governor of a state that's got that high of a case to go, sure, the people of my state are free to travel anywhere they want to. That's like the guy that come from New York to Jacksonville the other day that was positive.
Right.
For COVID-19, comes in and tells the local authorities that he was not going into quarantine for 14 days.
Right.
I'm sorry. We live in a stand your ground state. That's not the smartest thing in the world to do.
Go ahead, Mitchell.
Get back in local a little bit.
But
But I tell you what, it was good because all those stories were all talking about the coronavirus.
yeah,
So-
coronavirus. It is, and
all
that's
that
well.
was
That's the
done.
main. But look, that's the subject right now of most people. That's what they want to talk about. And right now, we're trying to give you what we know, what we've researched on it, and trying to pass it to you, just in case you may have not done your research on it or may not know something. Just like the Union County thing. Just came across. I mean, how many people that's watching the show today knew that there was a case in Union County?
Right.
You know, we just broke that news. So, well, I know Michael said it was earlier today, but how many people has actually followed it and knew that?
Right.
So,
Yeah, and I wanted to touch base. You know that the school yesterday started to hand out the Chromebooks and all the packets to the students.
right.
I know some people were very aggravated with how everything was going, and I just want to say, you know, it might have been very aggravating for them to do that, but I want you to sit back and listen. This has never happened before.
Right.
And what this does is gives the school board an action plan. They can put in that action plan what worked and what doesn't work.
Right.
And then they can use this as a guideline to go through and say, for instance, Lord, I hope not, but say if our area gets hit by a hurricane and we have a lot of damage to our school structures and we have to go back to doing homeschool again like we are doing right now. Well, they can put that plan of action in play and they can go by those guidelines to help it be more efficient the second time.
Right.
So I think they've done a pretty good job. I know it's going to be pretty rough on parents. It's going to be rough on students, especially those that are seniors. And my hat's off to them.
Yeah. Let me get to a couple of comments here. First of all, I want to thank everybody for joining in. I know there are a lot of comments that went by, And we try to get to each and every one of those, but sometimes we got information that we put out, and sometimes we can't get to those. But we do go back and watch the show. We try to get those comments, and we will, and we will answer those.
You will find that I like. I'll either like or love or laugh at comments all the time after the show's over, because I don't.
Well, and then we try to go if there's a question. Well,
time.
if there's a question, though, we try to go back and answer if we missed it. So, Carrie, you asked when did Laredo stop. Now, I don't know if they've officially stopped. It could have been because of yesterday being Monday. They're normally closed on Mondays, aren't they? I do believe Laredo's on a normal day. Mike, is that true? So they may have been closed, so they still are probably open and are open for takeout. I went by the grill and Chrissy hooked me up with shrimp Alfredo for dinner. It was delicious. I'm sure she did. Good evening, Miss Shirley Bagwell. There she is, Mom's on.
Hello. And she got a special request for us that I need to talk to everybody here about after the show.
All right, that's great. JJ, Roy Jackson, Matt Peterson, thank you all for joining.
She wants us to sing for her.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Better than that.
If I sort of know what this is, it's going to be really good. Is that
what it is?
Yeah. So I love their shrimp Alfredo. Yep, Chrissy's on. Thank you, Chrissy, for joining. Thank you for doing what you're doing out and for our community. You're still open. You're still serving the people, and you're still employing people, and that's the main thing going on right now with this virus. And a lot of people, guys, are losing their jobs, and for our local businesses to keep people employed is a good thing for our county.
I have a question about that, and
sure.
One we can think about and answer later.
All right.
Why are we having to shut all these jobs down?
That's a good question.
And
I can tell you my theory on that.
Well, should we be shutting all of these jobs down and hurting the economy when it's people's personal responsibility to keep themselves safe from this?
Well, here's the problem, and some people are irresponsible, and just like the guy that you were talking about earlier that came across the line there, and you're not going to quarantine me for 14 days. You've got people out there in the workforce, I've got to go to work, knowing they have this mess or knowing.
You have to use common sense about that.
Well, that's correct.
And here's the thing about that
But
person,
some people don't.
And I'm going to tell you, somebody else brought this up, and my father brought this up. He said that guy that come from New York and said he wasn't going into quarantine, they should have arrested him on the spot. And charged him with attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very possible with this. Because, I mean, we have people that don't tell people and have unprotected sex with other people.
That's
and
right.
They charge them with attempted murder.
Yeah.
If they have AIDS, don't they?
Boy, you remember when that AIDS was running rampant? What happened when somebody was doing that? What'd they do? They arrested you for attempted murder. That's exactly right.
It's there. The precedent's there. Mm-hmm. Arrest them.
Arrest them. I agree.
Plain and simple. I mean, what you're doing is you're punishing the people that take care of themselves and each other.
Right.
By doing the things that they're supposed to do because of the people that won't.
Right.
You're also destroying our economy. It can't. I mean, there's got to be an answer to this. It can't continue this way.
Well, and I tell you, one thing about this that's going on is
I coughed a few seconds ago into my sleeve.
One thing with this going on, I think it is also helping businesses find other ways to make money that they can incorporate later on after this thing is over. I'll give you an instance. Downtown Grill. They may want to start delivering food to a certain area in Stark. They see it's a moneymaker. They can provide people with a new service. That what they didn't have before.
Right.
And it can help them make more money later on.
How about some of the people that can't get out? You know what I mean? And their people bring them food back, and they go, my gosh, I'd love to have something from the Downtown Grill, but their people aren't around to go get it. Guess what? Chrissy may say, hey, take off and go deliver this so-and-so to so-and-so. And that's always a good thing. Yeah, I think it's going to open up opportunities later on down the line, which means what? More jobs, which means what? Helping the economy more and making a more of a thriving economy.
We was in Michael's last week. Zane had a doctor's appointment. After that, I says, Nick, you want to go down to Michael's? Sure. they had those display cases for 60% off, and I needed a couple of display cases.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to go to Michael's.
Yeah, I know that's exactly right.
So we go down there, and we're getting ready to check out, and the officer comes in and says, "Hey, y'all got to close your business down."
Yeah.
So Nikki says, "So what is your hours?" She says, "No, we've just been told we got to close it down."
Period.
So what they're doing? No, they're not closed down. Period. If you want something from Michael's, you can call them ahead of time. You can buy it and pick it up on the curbside.
Yep.
So that gives them another opportunity. Someone says, "Hey, I really don't want to go into the store. I'll order it on the telephone, and I'll just swing up there by their front door and grab it and pay for it."
Yeah.
And it gives them another opportunity for business. Plus, right now, it's keeping a couple people employed. So I see a lot of benefits that's actually going to come out of this in the long run.
You know, I see some benefits, but I also see some things that scare me, because there are going to be a lot of people that come out of this scared half to death of everything.
Of course.
I mean, they're just going to be scared to leave their homes,
Right.
and you can't be scared to leave your home.
Right.
You shouldn't be scared to leave your home now.
Right.
You should just be safe when you do it. And the things that have closed down, there's a reason for them closing down, because big people congregate in places like Michael's.
Right.
I'm surprised they haven't closed
Yeah.
Walmart.
Right.
Walmart's down.
Right.
But
Well,
that's because
actually,
it's a food store.
they can control how many people go in per
They
square
should.
foot there.
Right.
They should.
And I imagine that's what they're doing over in Gainesville, because I actually seen a picture of a Publix over there, and people were lined down the sidewalk and out in the parking lot.
You don't have to worry
Right.
about me
So-
going to Walmart. in
I
Gainesville right
do want to just break in here real quick, gentlemen. We do have an update here. The tornado watch is now over for Bradford County.
now. Yeah.
And probably around the surrounding area.
Right.
So thank you, Austin, for that update. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that front
Chrissy
came through and
just
headed
went.
on out.
Dwight
around
Allen
it.
said it was beautiful over where he lives, over there on his side. So
Anthony
thank
Black
goodness there's some.
said to tell you that the Best Buy is doing the same thing with the curbside.
Right.
Side,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's going to
sorry.
me. It's going to open
sorry.
up a different thing. And go ahead and tell those folks who actually got laid off right now because of the coronavirus. Hey, Walmart's hiring big time all over the
Yes,
place
all
because
over.
they need more people to stock shelves. I seen a posting on Facebook
5,000?
that Audi was hiring people, starting them out at $17 an hour. I don't know if that's true or not, but I seen it on Facebook. It could be true.
well,
Audie's is a specialized grocery store. If you
Right,
don't know what
right,
Audie's
right.
is, and
They're probably needing people to stock.
Stop.
They pay really, really well. I applied for a position at Audie's before the position I got at Haven come available.
Right.
But
So I
they
mean, there's
pay well.
still a couple opportunities out there for people. Don't forget the stimulus package is coming probably here in 2 weeks. People will start getting that money deposited in their checking
Check
accounts. If you don't have it set up for direct deposit, I think it'll take up maybe 6 weeks or less
Right.
for it to come in the mail.
Right.
And Mitchell, are they doing that through the IRS? Is that how they're doing that?
Yes,
Yeah,
if they have you on there
On there,
as a direct deposit with your bank,
Then it's
then
automatically
it automatically
going.
direct
Yeah.
deposits.
So-
If not, then they send you the check in the mail.
So what he's saying is, if you file your taxes, and that's how you get your tax returns, is direct deposit.
It will show up.
The
in your-
stimulus package is going to show up in your bank
That
account.
is
Correct.
correct.
That's what he's saying.
I got a question.
Sure.
Let's say you're not set up, but you want to get set up.
You can't do
You're
that.
not going to be able to do
Not
that.
in time
No.
to do
Not
that.
in time to do that. Great question.
Yeah.
Two more
That's it.
things from a national level from that standpoint. Number one, tonight's the last night for the census.
Census, yes.
Please, if you haven't sent it in, go on the website and do that. They will come ask you. They will come. They won't come after you right away, but they
Right.
will come ask you why you didn't do that.
And it's
Right.
very important because that's how your towns, your county governments get different
funded.
types of grants,
Grants
stuff
and funds.
for your area.
right.
And if you don't do that, it can hurt your county or city.
That's exactly
and
right.
state.
And state.
And,
So,
and the other thing that I was going to say is the deadline for filing your taxes is April 5th. You have
That's been extended.
That's
For,
it.
no, the filing part of it has.
Yeah, July 15th.
July
I
15th.
thought that you still had to file, but if you owed them anything, it was extended to July 15th.
I think it's
No,
July
yeah,
15th.
July 15th. You can.
Okay,
it's a
so
file.
it has been.
It
okay,
has
I
been extended.
I misunderstood.
Yeah,
that.
July 15th. You can
has to be
file
done.
it. It has to be done by then. And if you owe them anything, I think you've got till October or
Yeah.
something to be able to set it. Is it October 15th somewhere?
Trust me, I know.
So you know, so it's October. Okay, so there you go.
I'm cringing and was waiting to the last second, and I'm probably still going to file because
Well, I've already
I
paid
know-
them my money. I do want to get to an interesting comment there. Maurice got a comment here, and we'll try to get some comments here. She says, I've got an idea for the coronavirus. If you'll come to Love Not Live, let's see. Let's see if we can pull that up here. There we go. From the White House, Trump said to be prepared for a bad 2 weeks with up to 100,000 deaths plus.
Yep, that's what
Yeah,
I was just saying.
100,000 to 200,000. Yeah.
240,000.
Yep.
I
Eddie
think, I think Fauci has been in his head. I don't believe
Can
that's
you go
going
back
to
to her?
happen.
Can you go back to her comment, Byron, and I'll let you read it. By the way, Austin Stevens says that all the tornado watches has expired in the area. Yeah. So,
Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Good grief.
oh my goodness, we may have to. Wow. Maybe we can put this on our website here. Marie, I'll tell you what. This is a long one here. We will read this, and maybe we can put this on our site if it's good there,
That's
and we
from
want to
Trump?
put everything. It's a color code. It's about a color.
Well,
Yeah.
she's talking about the CERT, community,
The Community Emergency Response Team.
and what they do with stuff like that with the
The different color codes?
different
Yes.
color
Yeah,
codes.
I can address that quickly if you
Sure, absolutely.
So, one of the suggestions that originated regionally was picked up by Gainesville Fire Rescue, promoted, and other agencies around have started doing this, is that if you have somebody, seniors specifically, who live alone, they are encouraged to get 3 pieces of construction paper or Post-it notes or something to that effect, and then simply place the sticker in the window, either at the front door or to the right of the front door in a window. And it simply just says that if it's a green sticker or a green piece of paper, that means, hey, I'm doing great. I'm self quarantining. I'm social distancing. I'm fine. No problem. Everything is good here. Yellow means not feeling too hot. Maybe call me on the phone. So let me see. Maybe I can explain what's going on here. But you know,
Right.
it's not that. If it's red, they're encouraged to dial 911 and get help coming
Help.
to them
Okay,
just in
that's
case.
what. That's what.
So what we're now, we have not officially, we being the sheriff's office, we have not officially endorsed any of this. This is not something that's
Right.
been promoted or anything like this one. But it is a good way to communicate with others outside, still maintaining the self-quarantine
Right.
aspect, still maintaining the social distancing. But it's a good way for people to visually check on neighbors and friends and the elderly and people like that.
Right. I got you. Okay. Well, there you go. So thank you, Mike, for that. I really appreciate that. See, Jeff goes, how are y'all? All y'all are tested, and we are not.
Well,
I think what he.
Jeff, we're not talking about the actual COVID-19.
We're just talking about just
We
the
get
questionnaire, and we get
We
screened.
get
It's a screening.
screened. It's a
Michael
screening.
Heater did it tonight for us, as a matter of fact.
Maybe we need to explain a little bit about how
exactly,
the testing
we can-
process
Sure,
goes with
so
this,
let's-
because you have to meet certain criteria before they'll actually
Right.
do what you're talking about with that screening.
That is correct. So let me hit on you a couple things like that, just for clarification on purposes like that one. The screening is, go ahead there. Yeah. So just to think that now screening is done. For example, they have limited access to public buildings, the sheriff's office, courthouses around the region like that. Right. Entry into the Bradford County Sheriff's Office, for example, is permitted only if you enter through one entry point. Even the deputies, everyone that goes in. This evening, you have one entry point. You get your temperature taken, and you're asked a series of questions. Simply stated, have you traveled recently? Are you having a fever? Do you have a cough? This sort of thing like that. The answer is no. We take your temperature. Once you do that one, you're cleared. Some of the questions, it's the similar questions we ask when we get 911 calls. We are doing an enhanced screening of all 911 calls, and we're advising our responders of this information so that we can take appropriate measures to get there. You may see paramedics show up wearing goggles and masks and gowns and this sort of thing like that. That is strictly because we're enforcing an enhanced policy of protection for our responders
Right.
to do this. We're not making accusations that you are infected. No, we're simply protecting ourselves, and it is by policy as well as through good practice that we do this sort of thing.
Michael, I wanted to let me add one thing.
Sure.
About that. With this virus and any other virus, sometimes what happens is you end up not knowing you have it.
Right.
You're asymptomatic. You don't have the symptoms, and you're a carrier.
Correct.
What those personal protection items that he is talking about wearing actually protects not only the people that are wearing it, but it's designed to protect the people that they're serving.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's all disposable.
Yeah, it's all disposable.
Right.
Just to let you guys know, they don't come in looking like the hazmat unit for no reason at all. It's to protect not only themselves but you too.
Right.
Yeah, it's protect all parties involved.
You
Whatever.
don't need to be uncomfortable about it. I know it's really strange to see somebody walking in with a mask on and goggles and gloves. Heck, the first few times that I did it inside of people's homes, I thought this is really uncomfortable. I really feel like I shouldn't be having to do this, but guess what? It's protecting me and it's protecting them.
Right. And the other side of this coin is that, you have to understand that the exposure considerations that we take into effect. For example, if somebody was to cough on a piece of cardboard, the exposure on the cardboard, the virus can remain in place for 4 to 5 hours.
Right. That's right.
And glass can be even longer. Non-porous surfaces are even longer. So there's a series that we do. So the questions that are asked in the screening process, whether it be in person or 911, are the same, and that is, have you traveled outside? And we tell that, have you traveled outside Bradford County? We don't even worry about nationwide. We just, have you traveled out of the county? Have you had any contact with anybody who is also symptomatic? Have you experienced any respiratory infection? Are you running a fever, a cough, short of breath, anything like this one? So that's how this. Now, the testing that you refer to, Byron, is, shall we say, rather invasive.
Yes.
It is.
And if you're not familiar with the testing for this one, it is not the most comfortable procedure.
It is not.
It's different than getting tested for the flu.
Yes, it
I
is.
will tell you this.
That is correct.
When SARS was around, I had bronchitis, and they tested me for that. If you ever been tested for this flu, it's like that, but it's worse.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
They go through the nasal, they go through the nose, and they go clear to the back of the throat. It is a very uncomfortable test, but it is a definitive diagnostic tool that is used. That is the reason why.
Try it with a sinus infection.
Indeed, that is the reason why.
Or your sinuses running and go,
That's what my problem was. I had a sinus infection along with bronchitis.
And don't sneeze while they got that strip in there.
The other thing to remember is that the health department does encourage testing if you meet criteria. If you're over the age of 65, if you are symptomatic, if you're 40 or 50 or 30 years old and you don't have any symptoms, they don't want to test you.
Right.
No, because
That's
the numbers of tests that they have are limited.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's no way to tell that within the incubation period that, now if you have a legitimate concern, I was around someone who coughed and they sneezed 3 days ago, and now I understand that they've been exposed. Well, that meets the criteria. Have you been around someone who has?
Right.
Now
And
you
you
become
can-
quality.
that's right.
Now you're a candidate for testing. Then they go ahead and do the self-quarantine, and they do this thing
So,
like that.
so Jeff, I just wanted, and he explained between testing and screening. And we did that. So at work, and Andy Norris is right behind you now. I work with both of those gentlemen along with Sarge. We get screened. That's the difference between that and testing. And Michael just told you what testing was. So,
And really, to tell you the honest truth,
We get screened here.
until they figure out exactly. There's some talk about asymptomatic people with this, but they don't know
right.
because they don't have enough tests to just test everybody. That's. And I'm not sure I want to be tested, but
most people that have a healthy immune system are going to, even if they become symptomatic, can usually it'll be mild.
It's mild.
It is the concern is those that are immunocompromised. It is the elderly. It is those with special needs. Those are the ones that we're concerned about. Those are the ones that we want to make sure we test. That's the reason why we don't really want to push testing as a procedure. We want to promote the self-preservation through self-quarantine, through
Right.
social distancing. Basically, take care of yourself, stay healthy, and then if you do believe within a reasonable concern of exposure or you become symptomatic, then yes, go get tested.
Go get tested.
And take care of
Go
it.
get tested. And
Correct.
the screening is apparently working.
It is. We've and the screening is very, and the screening, at least in government offices, is very thorough. This evening, everyone here got screened.
That's correct.
As did the sheriff.
As the sheriff did, and he was just here before the show.
And it doesn't matter what title you have.
Well, and it also doesn't matter how many times you enter the building. If you exit the building and you come back,
You need to be
the
screened again.
next day, the next shift, the next day, everybody in and out of the building.
Right.
And again, it's limited access. It's restricted point of entry to make sure that everyone gets checked and everyone gets tested. It is not to create any issues or to create any more hysteria. We have enough of that already. It is simply procedural in place to assure that everyone stays healthy. And
Just to give you an example, this room that we're in here is a beautiful room. It's called the EOC room, and of course, that y'all know, we bring you the show here each and every week from here. But right outside here, we can go to the right. There's an exit door there and an entry door, and then right over here to our left, we can go outside and we'll be into the lobby, and there's a door there. Well, before all this happened, right, Mike, Dave, you guys, we could come in that door. We just open that door, prop it open, we good to go. We'd be good to go. We just come in and set up our stuff. Now we can't do that. That door stays locked until all of us go through that main entrance into the lobby there. There's a sheriff's officer. Tonight it happened to be Michael Heater or somebody that's qualified or works here to do that.
Zapped us with a laser thermometer.
Zapped us with the laser thermometer. And, we got to answer those questions. And not only on top of that, I seen that Michael Heater and I seen the other guys, he had to fill out a log. Hey, David Rodgers just entered the room.
That's right.
And yes, recorded your temperature, asked, do you have a cough? No. And what's the other one, Mike? There was another one on that little sheet.
Are you running a fever?
Are you running a fever?
cough?
Right.
Difficulty breathing.
Right.
They
So,
were,
and he's got to keep a log of that.
They do that at my job too, by the way. Every
Yeah.
time I go in, I have to be screened before I can enter.
Right.
And I've been in places that add another question on top of that too. They ask if you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Are you?
That's what I told the lady when she asked.
Did you tell her yes?
Yes.
I tell you what, you be raking in some money.
She was sitting there going question after question after question after question after question, and it was the last one, and she said that, and I was looking at her, and she was looking straight at those questions, concentrating on it, and she goes, "Are you pregnant?" And I looked at her, and I said, "Yep." She went, and I just smiled at her, and she cracked a laugh. The lady needed.
You
it.
had.
I could
She did.
tell-
Yes.
I could tell the lady was stressed out. She needed somebody
Laugh
to
is
relieve
good.
the
A
stress.
laugh is good.
In a
Just to relieve the
stressful
stress
moment.
just a little
Yeah.
bit. But I'm yet to figure out what being pregnant has to do with the coronavirus. But that's.
Right.
And I don't know why I keep on doing that, because I know how ineffective this makes this stuff.
I got you. I know. I got it.
And since you brought that point up, let me tell you, in 90% of the hand sanitizers that are available commercially, for it to be truly effective, it has to stay in a liquid form in your hands for at least 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So rubbing your hands like that and it evaporates quickly
Right.
does not do you any good.
Right. And it has to be, really, for it to be effective, doesn't it have to have 80%
80%
alcohol in it? So make sure, if you're looking for something like that.
And in your case, it's 80% alcohol by volume hand sanitizer.
Well, let me just call.
Drinking it doesn't necessarily count.
Oh. Really?
Alcohol doesn't
So
count.
what I got in this cup ain't working?
Well, but you'll not.
Anyway, not for the coronavirus.
There you go.
But anyway, Dwight Allen, I did want to tell you something. I'm sorry. I got busy with a show. I will call you later, or I'll message you later about what we talked about. Yeah. So I'm working on that. Yeah, good news for the brother there. Austin Stevens, thank you for the weather report. Ralph, Melissa, Thank you for all joining. Stacey Aldridge is on. Grant Brown, Sharp's very own sheriff.
And
And
I
Bart
was
Norton.
waiting on this one. I heard
Yeah.
about this about 2
I
or 3
did
days
too.
ago.
I
was
did too.
waiting
Me
on
and
this
Bart
one.
has talked about this, and I was wondering when he was going to bring it on. Bart, if y'all don't know, is my partner and on the spot lawn maintenance. Does a wonderful job, and he told me this one too. You reading that now, Dave? My mama told me about a guy in Louisiana. Well, there you go. There's the first problem right there. That licked a toilet seat to see if he would get the virus. He did and died. It was confirmed because he lives not far from his mom.
He got it from a
a
challenge.
Yes, he did. A challenge.
And there was a lady posting that up, and she did it and got away with it. And then he licked the wrong toilet and caught the coronavirus, and it killed him.
Barbie Crawford, I want to say something to you before I read this
Well,
right
like
here.
I said,
Yes.
natural selection.
Selection.
Yep.
Barbie, I want to say this. Yes, you, Byron, and myself have a birthday coming up this month. Heater, you got a birthday coming up this month?
Dwight does too.
Dwight does too. So there's 4 of us that have a birthday that we could probably all get together and do something, but right now we can't. Maybe we can table that off at some point. So,
I'm going to be doing it.
me too. So I'm going to sign off. Y'all be safe and have a good night. You too, Barbie. Charles Anderson, thank you. Anthony Black, thank you for joining us. Carrie is wonderful CenturyLink. Of course it is. And how many times do we got to talk about that? I follow the UCSO page, and I think that's where I saw it. Yeah. Knock on wood, I'm not currently having an issue. Good. Let's see. Whitney Flanders, thank you. Hello, guys. We appreciate you, Anthony. We appreciate everybody that gives us all these kind words. We do this because we love our community. We love you folks, not only here in Bradford County and Stark and Lottie and our regional area. We love people outside of this state, all around the region. No matter if you're listening from Pascagoula, Mississippi, no matter if you're listening from Milan, Italy, which we've had, no matter if you're listening from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, or, hey, Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan, Canada. Hey, we love you. Yeah, we had a hit from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. How about that? Yep, it's one of my friends, but we did have a hit from Jeddah, so there you go. Anyway, so we'll take it all.
About infidels.
So we are blessed and love our, yes, Chrissy, and that's exactly right. We do love our community, each and every one of us. We all look out for each other. We can enter, fight between each other, but don't let nobody else come and do it because they may get a boot in there, you know where. I'm still. So I think we just passed. They are still open. They are closed on Mondays. He's David Postma. Yep, you're right, Ella, and I think that's what it was. I just seen it on Monday.
Like I said, yes.
Real adults, not
Absolutely.
the flesh. Thank you. Yes,
I think
Carrie.
I like to
Yes.
love that one. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You shouldn't have to tell grown adults to do a lot of things that grown adults do.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we do things the way we do things, because when we have stuff like what's going on now, people know
Right.
what to do and what not to do.
Right.
There's a reason that these rules are made up in
Of course there is.
society. I mean, there's a reason for it.
And I tell you, one rule I hope people will start following is that, we have certain times for the elderly to go into these stores
Yes.
and buy the products that
Yes.
they need. So please, people, during those times, if you're not in that age group, give these men and women a chance to go in there and grab the things that they need to survive through the week. Give them that opportunity.
Right.
You've got the rest of the day to get whatever you need. Let them go in there and get their
Absolute.
stuff.
Thank you, Mitchell,
And
for saying that.
I know, like I said last week, we had other people in the stores during that time, and
Causing a little ruckus.
causing a little
yeah.
ruckus. Let's be respectful of our elders. Haven't you ever been told that? Be
Oh, of course,
respectful of your elders?
yes.
You know,
I a very young age because
Right.
we
Hard
grew up in
way
a
to
time.
walk
That's exactly right.
In a way that it's stuck.
It's stuck.
Lord, yeah.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Noah
you
Gibson.
Got a good.
Okay,
Mike, I'm gonna ask Mike this too. You going to Noah's question there?
Yes, I am.
All right, and
I've
can
got
I answer it first?
I've got a comment about that. But go
All
ahead.
right, because we need sick leave because most are forced to work sick. All right, first of all, number one, we're all getting screened at work. You just heard the panel say that right
You
here.
need to go home.
Thank you. If our temperature, I don't know what it is for here at the sheriff's office, if it's 100 degrees, they're going to ask you to go home. I know my job is going to ask me to go home. Let me tell you how I know this. I help do this sometimes. They took my temperature today, and I was scared. It was 99.6 when they hit me. And I was like, man, no, there's no way. I don't feel like that. So he went and got the safety man. The safety man come around there, shot it again, and it turned out to be 98, and then he hit another guy and then come back to me, and it was 97.8. So those accuracies of those guns are off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know I did not have a temperature of 99.6.
Right.
But if you do, especially at my work, yes, you are going to the house. Then what's going to happen is our GM or safety, somebody's going to call you and say, hey, you need to talk to the nurse, our facilities nurse that makes the determination if you're able to come back. Do you need to go see a doctor? Do you need a doctor's note or whatever? She will make that determination, and that's the way it's working for us. I know every company's different. The one Byron works for is probably a little bit different. Mitchell and Michael here.
They're going to tell us to go home.
Oh,
see
yeah,
our doctors.
that's
Is
quick.
what they're gonna
I mean,
tell us
it's not to
do.
argue about it. You go.
I
You're done.
almost got sent out of a nursing facility the other day.
You were too close.
I was at the last time my temperature was taken. It was 97.8, which is about my normal temperature.
It's not a bad
I don't
deal.
run 98.6 like everybody else does. But I've been standing outside, basically fixing stuff in the van, getting stuff out of the van. To
You got hot.
And it was 92 degrees.
Sure
outside
it
at
was.
the time. And you stepped inside that metal van, and it was probably 110 degrees. So it was in and out of that van and got hot and went in there. Instead of waiting for a few minutes in the lobby like I should have before I let her do it, she zapped me, and it was like 99.3
Yeah, that,
or some
same thing here.
Yeah.
something like that. And I was like, no.
Right.
No.
You
I've
know
been
better. You
outside-
knew better.
I've been
Yeah.
outside in the van.
That's
and
right.
My skin's hot from, yeah.
So, Mike, what is it here? Is same thing here pretty much? Is it y'all do it a little bit differently, or?
Yeah, 100 is pretty much the cutoff. If there's now what we
Now-
do is if we have someone if they're pushing 99, then we have them have a seat
Right.
in the corner.
And you redo it?
We wait a couple minutes. We had one individual, an employee who came in. It was 99.8, 99.7,
That's
something
pretty
like that.
close.
And we waited, and 3 minutes later we took it again. It was 98, and then we waited again, and she was fine. And it was 97.4, 97.5, and she
Right.
went back to work. It was just because of the heat.
So
been out
what's
in
the
the heat.
protocol? Same thing. You send them home if they are at 100. What's the protocol here?
I'm not going to. I can't say with any certainty.
Okay.
What we do is that they are isolated
Okay.
immediately
Okay.
and likely sent home. But
Okay.
we haven't had that situation yet because anyone who is symptomatic is told don't come.
Don't cook.
Right.
So that's what we're kind of looking.
See,
at
I
now.
self-temperature myself every morning before I leave. That's how I knew I didn't have a fever, and you should. That was,
I've been doing-
yeah,
I've been doing that
you
every-
should. If
every
you have a
morning.
thermometer, you should self-temperature
I can't-
check yourself before you leave to go to work, because I'm telling you, just like Mike says, he probably are they recommending y'all to do the same thing, Mike? Self-temp before you come here.
It's an employee option.
Okay, so
Yeah, I do that because
Me too.
There's no reason for me to go if I have one.
Right,
Over 100,
no.
because I work with people that if they catch this,
that's it.
they're going to die.
Yes, they are.
I mean, they're going to die, and they're going to die earlier than they were going to begin with.
Right.
So
So there you go. Probably same way at you, right? 100, you're gone to
Nope.
the house? No.
They don't.
Wow.
They don't screen us.
They don't screen you.
Nope.
I am really surprised that, especially in Alachua County, that's got probably the highest rate in this area, right?
Right,
For
per
sure, or
capita.
one of the per capita, and they're not screening. Ugh.
Nope. We don't
Do
get
you,
screened.
please tell me you screen yourself at home though, before you go.
Nope.
No, but you're gonna start, right?
that's the People's Republic of Alachua
That's
County.
what
for
county
you.
for you.
But I'll tell you what, right now over in Alachua County and our county buildings, all the buildings pretty much have skeleton crews right now.
Right.
Admin. The
Yeah, they're all
courthouses
gone.
are pretty
They're
well.
working.
The courthouses are pretty well shut down to the public. There's really not a lot of employees there. They still have to do, of course, first appearances.
Right.
They have to do that by law. So there's not really a whole lot of people downtown working right now. And I tell you, if you're over in Gainesville during the week, take a ride up Main Street to University and look at all the parking spots that you could park.
Oh, sure.
They're unlimited right now. So it's like working on a Sunday or a Saturday over there for every week. That's what it seems like.
We left Dave's shop. Michael wasn't able to join us last night, but we left Dave's shop. What time was that? 9? A little after 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
So we all left. Brother, I am telling you, I got on the phone with Byron. I seen 2 cars from here, from your shop, to my home in Lottie. I mean, I went through town like you would. I've never, ever, since I've lived here and known of Start Florida, to be able to get from one end of town to another in just a matter of minutes. I mean, a matter of minutes. You can do it if you if you're doing the speed limit at every place. What do you think, Mike? 3 to 4 minutes?
Yeah.
If you catch the lights and everything?
Lights, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
4 to 5. Yeah.
And I did it in that, and I wasn't speeding.
Before that,
Bypass.
opened up,
Well,
Right.
and now with the
25, 30 minutes.
right when the bypass opened up, it brought that down. But now with this coronavirus thing going on, there ain't hardly nobody on the road. I mean, it's just straight through.
It's pretty smart too.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
It is.
I mean, there's been all sort of people that have survived all
Yep.
sort of epidemics by staying away
Way
from people.
I see a lot of trucks.
I think Henry.
Got to keep those trucks moving.
Yes, you do.
Right.
I think
Yes.
it was Henry V that basically barricaded himself inside of his palace.
Yes, he did.
Stayed away from everybody.
I think
Yep.
they got the queen stuck in.
And the guy escaped
She's locked down.
the Black Death
Yeah, he did.
by
Because
doing
Prince
that.
Yes,
Charles
he did.
Prince Charles is
is
positive.
Positive.
for
Yep.
coronavirus. So yeah, they.
Hey, it doesn't pick. It doesn't. It
No, it
affects
does not.
everybody. You know, it's not discriminative. That's
Tony
exactly right.
Baselli's got
Tony Baselli's got it. That's exactly
hey.
right. All right, Crystal, thank you for joining us. Austin, thank you for what you do. I know you've been broadcasting for a while. Kim Lee, Charles McKinney, Stephanie Smith. I love you guys. All Publix are limited entry at all stores, not just Gainesville. All stores are supposed to be limited entry in Gainesville. Best Buy is curbside at all locations, just not Gainesville. What if you have the American Express card through Jackson Hewitt? I guess he's wondering about his refund. Anthony Black, if he's got the American Express card through Jackson Hewitt and he does his taxes through there,
My understanding was you had to have it set up as a direct deposit. If it was set up as direct deposit, then those checks, those stimulus checks, would go into your account.
Coming back to
If not,
your account.
they will go by mail, and so it'll take probably about 2 weeks longer to get it by mail, and I'll tell you, I think that it was a great idea to do that, to try to keep the economy going. You give people money, what they're going to do? They're going to spend it. And guess what? People are home. Guess what they can do? They can take that money. They can order stuff for their house.
Yep.
They can have it shipped to their door, and they can work on their house while they're being isolated.
You know what's
and
the
that
funny
keeps
thing?
the economy
Some
going,
people
and they're
need-
getting stuff done.
Some people's going to need this for bills and their food.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
food. I mean, think about the unemployment right now. Can anybody tell me, except maybe Byron, unless he's seen it, do you know what the unemployment rate was as of today?
I'm gonna let somebody
25%.
Huh?
No.
Wasn't it about 25%?
A little higher than that.
A little higher.
34.5% the unemployment rate is right now because of all this. 34.5%. I know it. And guess what? It's not declining.
It's going
It's
up.
rising.
It's going up, and
Yeah.
it's not. I don't think it's historical. I think it's right at the level it was the Great Depression.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to. I was wondering if you was going to say that.
I mean, that's about
Yeah.
where it was.
It wasn't a
during-
down 100 and
It bounced up yesterday.
It bounced yesterday.
Yeah, it's doing this. So
Yeah, it's
it-
doing up
it
jumpy,
went
but
back down
today,
today. It's
120.
was 120 points.
At least
120
not-
points. Yeah.
At least
I'm looking
not
up.
It's not- it's
1,000
not-
or
right, it's not
1,500 like
tanking.
It was. It's not tanking like it did.
Right. So
But,
34.
and that's why I keep on saying. That's why I said this before.
Right.
And I've listened to more than one other person say this that talks about national news.
Right.
We can't keep doing what we're doing. We've got
No.
to have people take personal responsibility to protect themselves and the public.
Right.
so we can go back to work.
It
Right.
actually was down
410?
410.32.
That's still not that much.
No.
compared to the way
It was down what, 1.84%? A total overall? Yeah, 1.84%.
So it's
Yeah.
sitting at 21,914.68.
See, you got to
At 4
remember
p.m.
too. You know, there's still other trading ventures out there and people out there. Your European market is still going. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The four dragons are still going. Can anybody tell me who the four dragons are? You remember it? Yes, you do, Byron. You know, China's still out there. That's Taiwan. That's Hong Kong. That's Korea, and that's Singapore. That's the four dragons. They're a major player in our economy. There's South American markets out there. Everybody plays a role into this to make the world's economy thrive. And with this going on right now, there's not a lot of trading on the.
It's not just us.
No, it isn't, and
it's
that's
not-
what I wanted to say. It's not
It's
us,
really not just us.
Right.
That this is affecting like this.
right? So,
And,
and you're right, Byron. The highest rate of U.S. unemployment was 24.9% in 1933, as Byron said, during the Great Depression. Right now, we're 10% over that right now. Now, is that number going to come down? Absolutely. If this does get fixed, and this does, I have a feeling in my
wanna
heart
know-
it's going to be fixed. We're going to get back to some
definitely.
kind of normalcy.
Definitely.
We're
And all
definitely-
those waiters
Yes.
and waitresses
Because,
jobs. They're gonna
all
come
that, and guess what's going to happen?
At one time.
At one
bam.
time. And guess what happens? Yeah, 37%
Becomes
3% again.
And see, this is
Yes.
this is the other thing that I want to know. They play numbers.
Yes,
games
they do.
with the unemployment rate.
Yes, they do.
How are they getting those numbers?
Yeah.
Because most of the time, what happens is when they say the unemployment rate is 3%, it's actually lower than 3%.
So lower than that, right. So
But
that
they
30 is
play
probably
these
lower
little-
than
They
that.
play
Right.
these little games with it like, oh, we're going to count an 18-year-old that's in college that's living with mommy and daddy and going to college.
Right.
And they don't have a job because they don't have to have a job when
Correct.
they're going to college.
Right.
So they're not looking for a job and they're not needing a job.
Right.
And they count those people too. And there's ways that they separate those and put those numbers in there to
Right.
make it look worse or make it look better.
And that's why the census is so important to make sure that you're counted when these numbers, that kind of number comes into play.
I have an issue
know.
with the census, but that's another story.
Right, and we can get into that.
There is one adult male that lives in this household. That's what they should get, but that's not what you have to tell them.
Correct. Right.
Would the 3.3 million unemployment applicants fall within that number?
Unemployment
Applicants, in other words, people seeking for jobs? Of course.
Yeah,
No.
You're
Applying
talking about for unemployment? Yeah, that
Yes.
number's that's part of that number.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That number,
Helps
that's
that number.
right. And I'm with Byron. Even though it's 33, I think it's probably lower than that. You're probably looking at 30%, 29%.
I would say it's
Yeah,
probably
probably.
even lower than that
Maybe,
because
yeah.
of the political environment that's going on
Yeah,
right now.
I will say that.
We have people saying and doing dumb things right now.
Right.
We're talking about impeachment again, by the way.
Oh my God, are you serious? Man, I'm not even paying attention to that right now
Yeah,
because we have a bigger problem.
That creature that resides at the head of the Congress is talking about impeachment again. She said something about that the other night on Cuomo's brother's show on CNN or
You don't want me to
MSNBC.
get on this soapbox, do you? Because we will.
Here,
get
I'll
on
take
it on
you right
Saturday.
off of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and let you know that when you go to those unemployment numbers, now there is an incentive out there that the federal government put in place for companies who are still paying their employees while they're at home.
Correct.
So
That is
they're
correct.
still getting their regular wages while they're sitting at home. And what this is going to do, they're going to be forgiven that as long as they do it during that duration, and it's more like a grant
Than alone.
Than
Then
a
alone.
Then
Right.
alone.
So
right.
it goes away, and
Right.
Of course, there's no such thing as free lunch. Some way, somehow, it's got to be
you're gonna pay
paid
it back
back.
in taxes.
You're
But
gonna pay, right.
but there's that put in place. I give you one of the biggest places here in Florida, Walt Disney World.
Right.
I think Universal Studios.
Are they paying their employees? still?
They're paying their employees to sit at home.
Sit at home.
Yeah.
There are all sort of things in the stimulus package that you need to take a look at if you own a small business, because there's all sort of loans that are done at very low interest rates, if any interest rate at all. You need to take a look at it and get the assistance that you need to make your business survive. If you are having a problem right now because you cannot go do what you need to do because of the coronavirus.
Hey, we got breaking news, brother. Listen to this.
Yeah,
We got breaking news right here.
Chalice, Idaho has had a 6.5 earthquake. So
6.5.
Right.
yeah, 6.5. So that's a pretty significant earthquake, and in Idaho of all places, which is kind of odd.
There are old fault lines all in through the Midwest.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much for them to become active.
Right.
They say they felt this in 7 states?
In 7 states, that's how strong it was. So in 7 states, they were able to feel it. So, and of course, there's going to be aftershocks and all that here in the next couple of hours.
So,
away from Boise, or from
73 miles from Meridian, Idaho.
Yep.
So, wow, that's crazy. 6.5
Prayers.
magnitude. Prayers to Idaho on
Hopefully
top of all this
hopefully
stuff
Yeah,
that's going on.
it was felt in Boise, which is 70 miles from the epicenter.
Hopefully nobody loses their businesses or their homes and their health.
Yes, Mike's going to look up, and hopefully, I'm sure there's some damage of some sort, but I just hope and pray everybody's okay. And we on top of all this, really a 6.5, man, we just don't need this kind of thing
Well, we
right
had
now.
tornadoes touch down
Yeah,
earlier today.
I want to
in
go to
Georgia,
Miss
too.
Bagwell's comment there, Dave. Can you hit see more? I have to tell you, I went to Walmart at 6 this morning to buy groceries. Not a problem until I got online to pay. I sit in line. Okay, I sit. Spent more time in line than buying groceries. Then I went to Winn-Dixie for the items I couldn't get at Walmart, only to find they didn't open until 8. They need to coordinate their hours. I went home, then went back there. A lot of people that would have a problem with that, just saying. So, yeah, absolutely, I agree, Shirley. No doubt about it.
And I think that first hour from 8 to 9 is supposed to be
for the seniors, right?
Right.
Yeah,
that
for
is
the
that is
seniors.
correct.
I just about made us all look bad just then with my mother.
Oh no,
Because I
you
almost
can't.
went,
No, you didn't. You didn't see that,
Oh,
Shirley.
come on! What are you doing? You're sitting at the house. You're retired. Go to Winn-Dixie.
Wait a minute. We've got something coming
Oh,
Saturday.
I know. I need to pick on my mom if I want to pick on my mom now.
Hey, I don't mean to
We
get
love
off.
her, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we
I don't mean to get off subject, but
Right.
I want to let everybody know I've had some phone calls today about the car show for the Strawberry Festival and the cruise in for the 150th
Oh, boy.
anniversary. The 150th anniversary cruise in and activities are postponed. The Strawberry Festival is canceled until next year. So I wanted to put that out there because I have been getting phone calls. So to go ahead and tell you the truth, there should be no activities going on like that whatsoever.
No,
right now. So
I just want to get a couple of things. Carlton, thank you for joining us. Miss Deborah Clayton, I haven't spoke with you in a while. I hope you and Dwayne are doing okay. Rob Clayton's on. Mitchell Gunner's on?
oh yeah.
Oh, goodness
not?
gracious alive.
We
Jimmy
got
Smith's
Terry
on.
Vaughn on too.
Yes, we do.
Billy Jackson.
Hello, Terry. Today's my first happy birthday, Mikey Porciazzo. Happy birthday, 17th. Danny Frampton, Terry Vaughn, our supervisor of elections on. Thank you, Terry, for joining in.
Thank you, Roy.
Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate all the kind words, and we do our best here.
And Connie's got a good point right there. Instead of taking your whole family to the store to grab items, if you can only have one person to go pick it up, let that one person go.
Right.
And it keeps down on a lot of people going in there. Exactly. Thank you, Connie.
Yeah, Billy Rayberg, how you doing? Thanks, David. Again, you're a true friend. Yeah, I see what you posted. Is it because, never mind, I'm not even going to say it on this show. I already seen it. I'll have to show you guys later. A couple of tornadoes touched down in George County today, which is a county up above where I used to live, Loosedale, Mississippi. Today, next north of us, which I just said. Does anybody have any coupons I can take my wife out this weekend for anniversary? Prefer so you to remember as soon as. Good grief. Yes,
Hey,
I'm going
Billy.
to tell you what, Billy. I'm going to see if Chrissy will give us a little certificate. Maybe we can have Chrissy make him up some wings, couple of margaritas,
Hey,
and we'll send it
I
over.
got the
How about
perfect
that?
place to take her,
Where?
Billy. You can take her to the Outback. Outback behind Taco Bell.
I was thinking. I was thinking maybe somewhere along the lines of the dock at the boat ramp at Sampson Lake, or
Yeah.
Three Pipes, or something like that.
I will tell you that I know we've been there. I picked up my mother about a week ago, and we enjoyed lunch at the Florida Cracker restaurant in the pavilion down out there with the picnic tables.
Yes.
And had a great day. It was a really good day with that one. So that's a great place to go.
Yes, it
And
is.
of course, the food is really good. But they've got.
Did you go that day that I told
open
you?
air?
When I told you, did you go get you some lunch that day?
No, I ended up going.
But
to
you
a couple
probably
days
remember.
later.
You probably said, yeah,
But I
okay.
did go, but that is a great place. Again, they've got the picnic tables set up here, and they are spaced out to where they can have several people go.
Right.
Pick up your food at the drive-through window. Go to the tables, sit down and eat. And it's a really nice setup that they've put
Yes, they
together.
have. Yeah,
So you
Kim
can
and
eat
them's
inside.
doing a great job over
So they
there.
did that. It's really good. I enjoyed that.
It's going to take about 4 months to get back to where we are if then people are spending their money on stupid stuff instead of bills, not saving the money for months to come. You want to chime in on that, or would you like me to? That money, look, every household is different. Let me just say this. Every household is different with what people's got for savings and money
Yes,
on a
that's
crisis
very,
like
very
this.
true.
So I don't know what, Billy, what, your household needs to function. I know what my household needs to function. If that money, if you just don't go wasting it, you know what I mean? Don't go frivolous spending right now. You don't know how dark these days are going to be, and I do call it dark days for now. It's not as bad as that sounds, but it's dark days, and it's going to get worse. You heard that doctor say it's going to get worse before it gets any better.
Dang
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
You mean I can't go get that cam for my charger?
Well, not unless Kurt's going to give it to you on a credit
Well,
or
I can
account
already- I can already-
account
He might just do
or
it.
account.
I'll have to talk to him. I might
Account, you
just
ain't got
put
no money.
Miracle Towing and Automotive on the back of the car.
I can already tell you where that money's going to for me.
Okay, go ahead, and then that may be a good thing. Yeah,
It's going to hunting club dues.
sure.
And everybody's going to laugh about that.
No.
But I've got enough money to where I don't have to worry about what happens. Plus, I'm not going to get laid off.
Right.
Mine is
There's
going.
no way, there
Right.
is no way in the world they are going to stop a hospice's services unless
No way.
you're walking outside, you're breathing the air, and people are dying from breathing the air outside.
Do you know what you are? You're essential
I'm an
personnel.
essential personnel. So I know that my job is not going
Just
away.
like
so
Michael
I am
Heater is.
spending it on something that I can actually use the money for.
Terry Vaughn just said something. He says you can take and go out and buy gift certificates for restaurants
Sure.
and turn around and you can use those
Yes.
later on.
Sure.
Great way to spend money. Support your local restaurants and
Right.
and use your gift cards later to sit down and have a nice dinner.
Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with mine. I mean, I'll just, since Byron said, I take mine, I got what we call it a slush fund. Everybody probably calls it a little bit different. Have a slush fund. I have a normal savings account and a couple of other things here, but I have a little slush fund. I'm just going to take that check, that money, and put it in the slush fund for a rainy day in case I need to go. I don't have to go to the bank. I can just go and grab that money. So once it gets into my account, what we do is we withdraw that money and we put it in that slush fund.
Sure.
And that's what I'm going to do with mine. Do you want to say what you want to do with yours?
My business has dropped
So you have to.
90%.
Wow, what a number, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
90%.
Listen to that
People are
number.
scared half to death to go anywhere and do
Right.
anything
My
at all day.
landlord is not giving me a break.
See, and that's so you're going to have to use that money to help keep your business
Business going.
and keep your employees. How about that? So
I would look at the small business stuff that they're doing with the stimulus package,
Yeah.
Dave. I really would, because there's some really good stuff in that.
That loan that they're talking about that they may forget.
right,
If you work your employees,
right.
you continue to pay them.
You continue to pay them. That's right.
Yeah.
Correct. Until July, when they're saying that's the end of this
Right.
stimulus
Right,
package.
package. Right.
And if you continue to pay them after that,
Right.
until the coronavirus pandemic is over,
Right.
then they will honor that and forget.
Forgive
that-
the debt.
right,
Forgive
right.
the debt.
Right.
But you still, I don't know if you get enough money to get you past July to pay them
Pay-
from July until the pandemic is over.
Well, and that's to be seen right there. We don't that's the scary part because you don't know, and that's exactly
I'm
right.
going to I am going to tell you right now. You will.
Oh boy,
That's about right too.
that's
I'm going to tell you guys, this is not anywhere near over.
No,
You're
absolutely
going to
not.
hear about people catching COVID-19, the coronavirus, which I don't like them labeling it coronavirus, because guess what? There has been a bunch of other coronaviruses.
Yes, there has.
You want to call it something, call it the China virus, the Wuhan China virus, or the
Call
Wuhan
it the
virus.
SARS, what it is.
Because that's where it originated. That's how we designate viruses most of the time.
Right.
Zika's from Zika.
right,
The African swine flu was from Africa. SARS is
South Africa, wasn't it?
no, South Asian
respiratory syndrome.
syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay. MERS was Middle Eastern respiratory.
Right.
You know, that's how they
wait a
classify this sort of thing. So that's the reason why.
Well, this isn't.
But here's the thing about it: you're going to hear people that have this for years and years and years and years. If you look at the statistics, there are still people that are catching SARS and MERS.
That's correct.
I don't know about swine flu because I didn't look for that one, but I know that they're still catching
We'll
the
look
other
at
one.
that.
And like I said, this is a version of the SARS virus anyway.
Right. Right.
So you're seeing it again. You're just seeing it in a different form. So this comes back around. Bacteria has been around on this earth longer than we've been.
Oh, you got
And
that
it
right.
finds, just like human beings do, it finds a way to survive. And the best way it can do that is to find us or an animal to live in. And that's why
It has to have a
attacks-
host.
It has to have a host to live. That's why it does what it does. So,
Renee, I'm late again. Forgot what day it is. Oh, well, we thank you for just joining. You can always go back and watch the show, and I'm glad you brought that up. Anybody that's new watching this show or even old watching this show, you can go back and watch this show. It's as soon as this is over, it's already on our Facebook page. We've got Mr. Austin Stevens that has puts it on YouTube as well. So you can go back and watch the show at those points there. So please go back and watch it. Tell all your friends. Share it with everybody, please. We've got a great audience. We'd like more of a better audience than what we have now. Bigger numbers. Bigger numbers brings bigger discussions.
Come on, please.
Yeah,
bring it.
please. We would
We
love
can
for you
go-
to
we
share
can do
it.
this
So
for hours and hours and hours, if you can't tell, because we've been on almost 2 hours now and
Yeah.
haven't even gotten past local and
well,
COVID-19, really.
we did. We hit it all. We didn't hit sports again, but that's okay because you know
And
what?
You know what?
There's
David,
only iRacing going
I'm
on.
gonna make a command decision. I usually don't.
Please let us do this at the beginning of the show. With
We
sports.
are. Sports
way we
next
can-
week
that way
on
we can
Saturday.
get this
It starts.
stuff, this COVID-19 stuff,
Yeah.
off of people's
So
minds. For
command
an hour
decision.
or so.
Command decision. I usually don't do that on air. Command decision. Right here. Approval. We start with sports Saturday.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
want to talk about what
Hey,
you
and
had
speaking
in
of
mind.
Yeah.
sports, I know there's a lot of people that like NASCAR.
Yeah.
I really like what they're doing.
I do too.
They're actually doing the iRacing,
I've heard that.
where they are doing it virtually, and putting it on what is it, Fox Network?
Oh, dear
Yeah, I
God,
think it is
yes.
Fox Network.
Watching
And
them play
it's-
video games.
It's pretty neat and pretty entertaining though. And I tell you what, that is a really good tool that a lot of people use for training. A lot of the drivers use it for training. I know my nephew, he's got a setup at his house that he gets on there and he practices different types of cars. But it's very interesting to watch. And the drivers are actually getting a whole lot better because they're putting in a lot of practice time while they're sitting at the house getting ready for those events.
You know, I might have to. I saw that on and I went, "Oh my God!" But maybe I need to watch it.
It's
Maybe
really
Maybe I
entertaining.
need to give it a chance and watch it.
Terry Vaughn, oh my gosh, man, I love you, man. I tell you, no, hey,
Bats are saying.
Bats
now,
are saying, eat more chicken.
now.
Yeah, now, yes, they are.
For
Only
the
Terry
love
Vaughn.
of God, quit eating bats. By the way, they've opened Wuhan back up, and they're now selling bats again. I heard that on the news today, and I went, "Are you insane? That's how this came about in the first place."
Anthony
Are we
Black.
sure?
Anthony Black.
Yes.
Yeah.
The coronavirus originally came from bats to humans. That's how SARS originated. This version of it was manipulated because remember the first carrier of it was the scientist
Right.
who was manipulating it that mysteriously disappeared, which means the government killed him
Right.
or he died from it. One of the two.
I always
And they'll
thought
never
maybe they were trying
let you
to
know.
take that virus and use it as
It's weaponized,
germ
Well,
It's weaponized.
warfare.
It was-
Warfare.
And I tell you,
without a doubt.
if it comes true
Without a
that
doubt.
China done this
Without a doubt.
intentionally,
Right.
China will have every country breathing down their necks.
With the exception of one.
Without a doubt, they were trying to weaponize it.
Yeah.
There is the doubt. The
I
doubt.
feel like I've been attacked already.
The doubt in my mind is: did they let it go on purpose for population control, and it got away from them, or did it actually escape the way they're saying
They wanted it to do it.
Well, I mean, did they not want it to get out of that lab, and they were still messing with it, and it was in the early stages of them messing with it as a biological weapon because
Right.
this is not swine flu, this is not Zika.
No,
or
it's not.
Zika. It's not as bad as It's not as bad as the Spanish flu. It's not
Yeah.
as bad as some of the other
The
epidemics.
Spanish flu
Especially
killed 20
smallpox.
million to 50
Smallpox
million
was
people.
Horrible too.
You do know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Killed
Especially-
20 to 50 million people.
And by the way, the Spanish flu is still around.
Yes, it
It's part of
is.
this flu strain that we get every year.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
influenza.
They already know how to control it. That's why it's nowhere near as bad as it was when that happened. So
I see several comments coming here, Byron, about people putting their money up, and that's what you should do. Billy Rayburn,
Sure.
if you want to buy crab legs and shrimp with your money, that's okay. I'm all right with that.
and Billy Rayburn,
yeah.
to answer that question that he's not going to read live on
Yes,
air,
I'm not.
there are two genders according to science, and the government's going to ask the question according to science, not
right.
according to the nonsense that we have going on now. So
Right.
There's your answer to that question.
All right.
You didn't ask me how I was going to spend my money.
Well, I did. Okay, how you going to spend your money?
I am actually going to spend the money buying shutters for my house.
Okay.
Buying paint to
Really?
paint the outside.
Yep.
I'm actually going to call Lazenby's tomorrow
Right.
and see how much it's going to cost to rent a small bobcat.
Okay.
I got to get some palmetto bushes up out of the yard.
Right.
So that's how I want to spend.
Hey,
some
that's not bad. You're beautifying your
money. Spend the
home.
money in the home.
Michael Heater, what are you going to do with your money?
You already know what I'm doing with my money.
Yeah, but we.
Send it right back to the IRS.
I was just going to say, are you even going to see that money? Not even going to see it. All right, final thoughts really
But it does
quick.
help.
I'll start with you, Dave Holland. Final thoughts, get ready to close the show. Final thought.
Just be smart,
Very good.
be patient, and love your family. This is a good opportunity to be around everybody.
Amen.
Just like we said beforehand, be thoughtful, be smart, don't buy into the hysteria, but do take the appropriate measures. Be aware of the fact that this is probably going to get worse before it gets better. Not from a epidemic or pandemic standpoint, but the impact financially in the business sense and everything like that one. We're going to have a lot. The idea of gift cards is a great idea. Just do something though that you plan for the long term in dealing with this. This is going to take us through a long time for the recovery.
Yeah, trying times. That's exactly right. Mitchell Gunner.
And I thought it was funny. Michaels thought I was going to go buy a blower with the money to go on my car. Blow it on my car. Well, I'm using my other income tax money for that.
Here we go.
Just a little bit of it. But stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Be aware of your surroundings. Keep that distance between you and the other person as much as possible. I know sometimes it gets a little hard, especially like where I work. It might take 2 or 3 people to do a job, and we have to be around each other to get that job done. But yeah, and don't be like these idiots that's all over Facebook spraying the hairspray in their mouth and lighting it. Come on, people.
You got to think, like Byron's been saying this whole time.
You know what the bad thing is about that? If
God.
they inhale that,
it's going down.
Now it's worse. It's going in your lungs.
It's going to get their lungs when they go to light it.
It's going down your trachea.
And then you're going to have some really severe medical problems.
It's severe. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do for that. It's going to kill you.
Yes, it is.
Please be smart. Don't be stupid.
That's not how you pronounce that, but once that burns the insides of your the air sacs in your lungs up,
there's no repairing.
No,
you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
Don't be stupid. Don't take these challenges that just other kids are telling the kids to do it. And parents, please monitor,
your
if you can, what they're actually seeing and doing, getting off of Facebook.
Jeez.
Fake book, or whatever you want to call it.
Mr. Bagwell, final thoughts.
My final thoughts are pretty simple. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance.
Like that. Amen.
And it applies in multiple ways with this. If you're not vigilant about what you do with this, you're going to catch this mess. It may not kill you, but it could kill somebody that you love. Please take the precautions that are necessary. Do not be afraid to go out of your house, but also know that if you do, you have to take the extra steps to keep yourself safe and your family safe.
And I just want to close out with this. People with diabetes do face greater risk of complications when dealing with COVID-19 because fluctuating or elevated glucose levels lead to a lower immune response. I'm just using diabetes. There's other things out there that we've all discussed here already. And less protection against the virus. Those with diabetes should be informed and prepared, and there is a specific COVID-19 guidance that can be helpful to you. But here's just a couple of things to protect people with diabetes from COVID-19, and it's the same protection that all of us have been saying for weeks now. Wash hands often, cover coughs and sneezes with a tissue, and practice social distancing. Manage your blood glucose levels, very important.
Exactly.
Keep levels in that healthy range. This is people with diabetes now. Have at least a month's worth of insulin on hand. Can't stress that enough. You do not want to have an attack and you don't have your insulin, along with extra glucose monitoring and diabetes supplies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Stock up on some bottled water and sugar-containing liquids. Yes, it's saying to do that. And also, I did not know this, but get a flu shot to prevent other forms of the flu.
Yeah, you don't want COVID-19 up on top of the flu or sinus infections or anything else.
So that's just some things out there for people that's got diabetes. I know a couple of people on here that does have it, so please take those to heed. Again, what these gentlemen, my fine crew here, can't do it without these guys. These are some of the most wonderful people that I've ever been around right here. These are my brothers from another mother, if you want to call it, however you want to call it. But this is the crew right here. And I don't know how many of them have said this. Time is the most precious commodity that you have. And as Dave Holland said, this is the time. If you're having trouble with a loved one, a spouse, if you're having an issue, this is the time. You have time right now to sit down and talk things over. I'm not saying it'll always get resolved. I'm just saying that this is the time that you have to be able to fix and amend relationships. Spend time with your kids. Spend time with your loved ones. And it don't always necessarily have to be right. Practice your social distancing, but there's things that you can do with your family. If your family don't live with you, hey, Skype them. You can Facebook a live. Whatever that you need to do, you can do that. But time, don't let time go. I always tell these gentlemen, I love to be around these guys because when we get together, there's a dynamic about us. And when we bring this show, hey, we started this show, at 7 o'clock? Those 2 hours are gone, brother. Hey, they're done. We're not going to get those 2 hours back. You know that? Because time is gone. We have to look forward to the next time. And again, who's to say, I hope we do, who's to say we're going to have a next time? All of us together. We don't know that.
You never know.
You don't know. So
we all work jobs.
Exactly. And with all these things going on, you just don't know. So please, I urge you, if you're having problems with any family members, friends, take the time to try to mend those relationships. This is the perfect time for that. So again, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors for their continued support. You are the reason that we are here. On behalf tonight, we want to thank absolutely our Sheriff Gordon Smith and the entire Sheriff's Office for their hospitality, allowing us to access this awesome venue right here that you see each and every week. So, and twice a week at that, because we come back on Saturday. On behalf of the entire team, we are on the spot. Also, our show sponsor tonight, Jamie Clemens with Dependable Waste Service. Thank you, Jamie, for all that you do. We hope you too enjoyed the show. We are on the spot, and Captain Hawkeye is not. God bless you guys. Good night. We'll see you Saturday night at 7 p.m. God bless you guys. Have a great night.